Hi, I'm Flying Flamingo Jade. Myself and Cupcake Krista do Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, Girls Just Want to Fly. If you're a female that's interested in sharing your story, please contact one of us, and we would love to share your story with you. Welcome to Girls Just Want to Fly.
The world, you know we rule the world. Rule the world, you know we rule the world. Sky high punching, yeah, we're gonna have it all. Cloud nine jumping, happy, I got you, you got me. Engines running, we'll be taking off at dawn. Treasure hunting, glory, I got you, you got me. Dragons at the gate, they won't stop us getting to the top. Whoa, flying into space like a rocket, never giving up. No, I never give up. I was all alone when I started, always been the same. Now you're here, the journey's uncharted, everything will change. You know we rule the world, you know we rule the world. Rule the world, you know we rule the world. Thunder crashing as we're breaking down the walls. Lightning flashing, lucky I got you, you got me. Rainbow crossing as we're heading for the sun. Ain't no stopping, ready, I got you, you got me. Dragons at the gate, they won't stop us getting to the top. Flying into space like a rocket, never giving up. I was all alone when I started, always been the same. Now you're here, the journey's uncharted, everything will change. You know we rule the world, you know we rule the world. Rule the world, you know we rule the world. Rule the world, you know we rule the world. Rule the world, you know we rule the world. Stars up high will guide us home. You and I, it's time to take the throne.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to Girls Just Want to Fly. Hello, Krista.
Hello, Jade.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there, trying to get over a bad cold. So, hey, I want to introduce you to Gladys Luebke.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I am doing well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Sure.
So, Krista, you got anything you want to start out right away, or?
No, I hope you feel better, and I can't wait to get to know Gladys more.
Yeah, what's the weather like down by you?
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I think it hit 37 today here, but no
Oh,
snowflakes. Gladys, what do you have for weather down by you? Where are you at?
45, 50.
Not much different than us.
No.
And you're getting rain?
Yes,
Yeah.
raining
okay.
all the time.
Bummer. All right. I just want to say hello to my parents who are watching. They're down in Illinois with my Aunt Margie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. And hello to everybody in the chat. Again, thank you, Gladys, for joining in. And I can't wait to hear all about you and how you got into paramotoring. All right. So where are you from?
I am originally from Michigan, transplant to Virginia, and I've been here about 8 years now.
Oh, all right. How old were you when you got into this sport?
I was 43. I just got into it this year, January. I did my training down in Aviator paramotoring in Lake Wales. I actually did it at the Dunelin facility right before they closed it. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, all right. So what got you into the sport?
My husband, actually. He has a friend that is in the sport, and he was watching some videos and did a lot of YouTubing and kind of got lost in that. Found Tucker God, of course, and was watching videos. And then he was showing me some, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. That's so pretty. That's awesome. And then he showed me Tucker Got going to Chick-fil-A. I was in. I was so in. I was like, yep, I can do that.
Have you done it yet?
No, not yet. I got to get my landing straight first.
Okay. Well, I would have to say that I think that's pretty much how my husband got me into this, by watching a lot of YouTube, and then we saw the Tucker Got stuff, and
Yeah.
yep. So, and then a lot of everybody else, and now we've got a lot more, including one of them in our chat here, Will Fly, who does awesome videos too. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes.
Yep. All right. So do you foot launch or trike?
I foot launch.
Foot launch?
I foot launch. I think that maybe in the future I would like to trike, but I don't know. I really enjoy foot launching.
I think you'll like triking too. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, type of equipment do you have? Do you have?
I have the Atom 80 Eclipse, and I fly a 22 Spider.
Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Krista, oh, she's not here yet. Somebody must have came to the front door. Do you keep track of your flights?
I do. I'm at 31, and that includes the 9 I got in class. So I've got 20 something out of class, 22 outside of class. And again, I just started in January. I use that as my excuse, but my husband, who also went to training with me the end of January, has about 90 flights in.
Wow.
So, but that's okay.
Was it you that told me that you were the first one up? You beat your husband up in the sky,
Yep.
though? You beat him
Yep.
up there? That's
Yeah,
pretty
it was actually a really cool story. So being up in Dunedin, we weren't around all of the regular Aviator folks, just the 6 or so instructors that were there. Well, Eric flew up one day, probably bringing parts or something, and he had his son with him. And they hung out for a while and were talking, and it was taxi practice day for us. And he came over to me and said, do you want to do some taxi practicing? I said, yeah. He said, you know what that means, right? I said, oh, yeah, let's do this. So he got me all hooked up and talked me into the air for the first time.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Hang on one second.
Sure.
Oh, we got a question in the chat. Deweese Milstead, one of my friends, she's from Mississippi. I met her at one of the fly-ins, and she also flies trike with me. She's asking, she wants to know what you fly.
Oh, sure. It's a Atom 80 Eclipse with a 22 Spider.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you keep track of your hours at all?
I do, for the most part. I use a app, PPG Flyer. I absolutely love that app. And for all of the flights that I've actually logged, I was checking today and I missed 3 of them, I think, but I'm at just over 10 hours and almost 200 miles.
Okay.
And that's again from flight 13 to 31. So I didn't log anything while I was in class, of course, but.
All right. What's the coldest? I'm going to ask what the coldest you've flown so far.
Yeah, it was probably 39 or 40 on the ground. So it was definitely in the low 30s up in the air. It took me about 30 minutes to be completely numb and decide that this was not fun anymore, and I landed.
All right.
But I bought actually my husband got me for Christmas a heated jacket, and I bought heated gloves, the electric heated gloves, and I've got my eye goggles. Like I've got everything I need to be able to fly in the cold weather.
Oh, you'll be set then for where you're
Yeah.
going. You can tell about that in a little bit. Who is your favorite instructor?
My favorite instructor was Micah. Micah Stevens. He was the lead instructor at the time and for the Dunellen class, and he was just absolutely amazing. He was patient, he was kind, and he really loved the sport and wanted you to love it too, which was just awesome.
Is he in any of the videos that they put out?
Mm-mm. No. I have a few with Judson Graham. Absolutely love Judson too. Really good friend of mine now. And I think that's about it.
All right. What other apps do you use? I know you said you use PPG Flyer. What other apps?
That's really the one I use for flying, but I also use Windy, Blue Windy. I like that one, as well as the Ryan Carlton app. And an app that I've been trying to like is Fly Sky High. It comes, I've got several friends, including my husband, who use it, and it's just not my thing. I don't really like it, but I have it.
All right, another question from Deweese. Do you and your husband fly together, and what does he fly?
Yes, we do. As much as possible, we do. He flies a Moster 185 Eclipse also, and then he flies a Spider 28, I think. I'm not sure the size, but he also flies a Spider.
All right. Do you, Bill H here is saying that he's updating his GoPro 10 right now. Do you fly with any cameras at all yet?
Yeah, so we've both flown with GoPros, an 8 and a 9. I don't really like it. Like the after business that you have to do to make it really viewable is just, especially if you take a long flight, it just isn't fun for me. But my husband does a lot of videos with his GoPro, and he has amazing videos.
All right. Will Fly asked, did you start out on the Spider?
No, I started out on the Mojo Power 2.
Okay.
Had that one for quite a while before I decided to switch to the Spider.
Okay. Let's see. Angela from Las Vegas is asking, Gladys, will you guys go to, I'm assuming she means fly-ins. Yep, fly-ins.
Yeah, so we did the Spring Wing here in Virginia earlier this year, and then we went up to the Pennsylvania Balloon Fest with Aviator. They performed up there, so we went up there, and I didn't get any flying in while we were up there, but my husband did. I didn't because we had just bought our camper and our trailer and put my gear in it, and by the time we ended up in Pennsylvania, 4.5 hours away, one of the bench seats that was folded up against the wall had come down and smashed my machine. So yeah.
Ouch. So when you were up there, I take it, would have met Wendy Weaver.
Yes.
She was a past guest, and she was just on here last week with our crazy costume party show we had.
Nice. Yeah, Wendy's awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back, Krista.
Sorry.
That's okay. Will Fly in the chat is also asking a follow-up question. Do you think you would have been okay starting out with the Spider from the start?
Probably. Yeah. The biggest difference I feel with the Spider is the responsiveness. The reason I started with the Mojo is because I was terrified. I knew that was
the Mojo.
The Mojo was a 24.
24. Okay.
Yeah. But I did a lot of research and saw that the Mojo was like the safest wing available, and like it just wants to fly no matter what happens to it, it's going to fly. And so that's why I started out on the Mojo. But yeah, I definitely feel like starting out on the Spider would have been okay.
Okay.
And I like the Spider much more now.
So how did were you scared at trying a new wing? Because I'm kind of scared at somebody throwing a new wing. Oh, here, try this.
Yeah, actually, because they're not cheap. So I actually flew my husband's Spider. He knew right away. He got a Mojo that we both did a lot of kiting before we went to class because we had about 3 months after we signed up. And so we did a lot of kiting with our Mojos. And when we went to class, they had some Spiders and he flew one, immediately bought one. And it took probably 6 months before I got up enough nerve to fly his Spider. And after I did, I knew I wanted one. So yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about if and when I will ever need a new wing, or hopefully not have to borrow somebody's wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. I know you're new yet at this, but husband's got some more flights in him. And well, let's not ask this question about equipment right now. Let's talk about your future. Where are you and your husband going? Where is your husband?
So my husband is currently, he's home at the moment, but he is now working for Aviator Paramotor down in Lake Wales, Florida, as the chief operating officer. And that means he splits his time between Florida and Virginia, which means I am moving to Florida as soon as possible.
And your
And
house
I'm very much looking forward to the nice weather.
right. So right around Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hopefully maybe we'll be able to see you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be nice to at least be able to meet you in person.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I know a good flying spot.
Yeah, I bet. We'll be without equipment though.
No.
All right. Steve Clark in the chat is asking, describe your first experience getting off the ground.
So, honestly, it was so mind-blowing that it's hard for me to even be able to describe it. Like, I remember pulling the wing up and Eric saying, okay, walk to me. And I'm literally walking. And he's like, no, I mean, run, right? Like, I knew that from class, you have to run, but I'm walking thinking, okay, he said, walk. But, then he's like, run, 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 run. And I said, oh my God, this is happening. And, as I hit full power and launched up into the air. And I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening. Did a couple of spins around the airport and came back down. And then he's like, you want to do it again? Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
How was your landing on your first?
My first one was a butt landing. My second one was, I landed on my feet. It was a beautiful landing. The second one, I've really, really, really struggled with my landings. It took me, while I was in class, I had 3 landings on my feet. Everything else was on my knees. Part of that was because of my quads, because I hurt my quads in training. And so I didn't really have a lot of strength in my legs. And I was really pushing myself just to launch, let alone land. And then it kind of got in my head where I was nervous about landing because I thought it was going to hurt because my legs had hurt from previous landings. Anyways, I ended up spending the next 20 landings on my knees. And I'm finally at flight 29. Flight 29 was a foot landing. 29, 30, 31. We're all on my feet. So I think I finally got it.
No broken props or anything with butt landings or anything?
No. I was very good at throwing myself forward. If I was coming in on anything but my feet, I was landing on my face. So
yeah. All right. Let's see. Next equipment. Do you and your husband, I would imagine, are talking about future? What other equipment are you thinking about getting in the future?
So my husband actually just bought a Liberty frame. I'm going to say it all wrong and he's not going to be happy, but Liberty is his next motor. And then mine is probably going to move along the same lines. I tend to follow what he does because he does all the research and I don't have to.
Yeah, it sounds like this household.
So,
All right.
yeah, I definitely see myself getting something other than the Eclipse. I love the Eclipse because it's so light, and that was my main focus. But now that I'm getting stronger, physically stronger, I feel like moving to a more sturdy machine might be a little bit better for me because of the things that have happened, some of the landings, that kind of thing. But
Okay.
hopefully they're all feet landings and I don't have to worry about it.
Right. Will fly. Did your husband get mad because you flew before he did?
No, he did not. He was so excited for me. He was second. He was second one in the air. But he was beyond excited. Yeah.
Krista, do you got anything? You guys doing okay?
Yeah, sorry. All good. Any fly-ins in your future there?
I would like to go to Bad Apples for sure. I've got some friends that fly there. Some of the people we trained with are near there, so they go. And honestly, any and all fly-ins I can get to, I would love to go to. I love going to the fly-ins.
What fly-ins have you been to?
I went to Spring Wing over in Virginia. It was at Eastern Shores in Virginia early this spring, I guess. I think it was in May, and that was very, very cool. And then we went to the one up in Pennsylvania, the Balloon Fest up in Pennsylvania, where Aviator performed. And that was actually over my birthday. So that was way cool to be able to spend it with the Aviator guys.
Krista, she met Wendy there.
Mhm.
I know, I heard.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, but yeah. And Wendy was the cell phone on the show.
All right. Eric's got a question. My husband, Eric, has a question. If you hurt your quads during the training, do you then use a trike?
Yeah, so one would think, right? I feel like the quad injury was 100% related to picking up the machine from the ground, right? Getting it on my back and standing up with it. My legs, I felt like I was in good shape, but clearly I wasn't. I'm confident that that's where that pain came from. And so just kind of really working on some physical strength, both in my arms and my legs, has really helped that a lot. And now I can pick my motor up and not have any problems. So.
All right. Another question. What has been your best and your worst flight?
So my best flight, there's been a few. Of course, the butter smooth ones are the best. But one that I will remember for a very long time is we own almost 15 acres worth of property where I live, and the entire front yard is a runway, or can be. And my husband has launched out of there, but I've always been too nervous to do it. And I finally did it in August. I launched out of our front yard. That was way cool. I did not land in the front yard. I landed over at the airport 5 miles away, and my husband picked me up and brought me back. But I did launch from the yard, and that was really, really cool. I've done one sunrise flight here in the Shenandoah Mountains, and that was absolutely amazing. Just seeing the sun come up over the mountains. And then probably my worst flight would be probably somewhere in the 15, 16 range. So like not super experienced, but we went up thinking that the winds were going to be okay. And it was so bumpy and so rough. And it was just throwing that mojo around to the point where I was like, yeah, no. And I went back and landed probably about 20 minutes after I launched.
All right, hang on one second. I forgot to hit the recording. Sorry. My bad.
That's funny.
All right. Let's see. Krista, you got anything else?
Yeah, what's your bump tolerance?
I feel like it's pretty good. Like most of the time it doesn't bother me. It has to really be, jarring me around pretty good to make me go, yeah, this isn't fun. honestly, it comes down to not that I'm afraid of the bumps. It's just not fun when it's that bumpy. So,
So good one.
Mad Sloper's got a question. Have you been to an SIV course? If not, do you plan on going to one?
I have not. And when I first started out, like before I went to training, I really thought that I would go to an SIV course. Now I'm not so sure. I don't really have a desire to do the acro and all of the really fun things. I just really want to fly just to do it because I love being in the air, having my music on and just being on my own kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I will or not. I haven't completely ruled it out. I just don't know.
All right, another question when you talked about music. What do you use for listening to your music? What are you listening through?
Yeah, so we have, I don't know this either. My husband was the one who researched it, but our headsets have Bluetooth.
Yep.
They are hardwired into our radios as well as Bluetooth for our phones for music, and that's what I use.
Okay.
What music do you listen to?
I have a playlist called Loud Music.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It really is a little bit of everything. If it's loud and can just drown out the world around me, that's what I listen to.
do you play the music while you're taking off and landing?
Not when I'm taking off, but when I'm landing.
Deweese has a question in the chat here. I believe it was Deweese.
Oh, it's a PM100 micro avionics is what I have.
I guess that's what we have also.
Deweese's question is, do you have a flotation or a reserve?
I have both. Neither are on my machine at the moment. I had the flotations on for a while, but I really don't fly over any water right now. It's all mountains. So I don't have them on right now. And the reserve, I'm still figuring out how to put it on. So once I figure all that out, I will be flying with the reserve. The intention's there.
All right, my husband's got a question. What would be the one thing you want to improve on that was not gone over in training?
Ooh, training was very comprehensive. One thing to improve on would probably be I don't know. It was gone over in training. The main thing that I have to improve on is the depth perception and understanding when to start pulling on brakes when I'm landing. That's been my biggest issue. They did go over it in training, but for me, it was more of, they said, oh, it's 6 feet. Well, what does 6 feet look like when you're coming to the ground? Right. So that's something that I'm still constantly working on, is figuring out what that feels like.
I think I'm with you on that. It's like, I like flying high. So,
Yeah.
and it's like, I might be 300 feet above the trees and it's like, oh, they're too close.
Exactly. Another thing I would love to work on would be spot landings once I get my regular landings.
We were working on that this last weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Do you plan on flying over any water?
Not here. We have the Shenandoah River, but I don't fly over the river at all. So not here. When I go to Florida, probably, which is when I would put the flotations on.
Okay.
Yeah, I will not fly over water without the flotations on. Like
Okay.
that's.
Somebody from Wisconsin here, Clark's video, he had asked what rating your spider was, and your husband responded to that. I gotta find it again. So he's in here.
B.
And spider is a B rating.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's see, what else? I am sorry, I got a dog pawing at me on the floor here. Scariest moments, best moments, we went over that. Do you do any acro? Do you do anything?
No.
That's perfectly fine.
Yep. No. No.
Does anything scare you about this sport?
Yeah, honestly, I still have yet to learn how to start my own motor. My husband has to start it, or somebody has to start it for me. Like, I just don't have the strength to do the pull on it. And so I know that when I'm in the air, if I have a motor out, I'm coming down. So there is no restart in the air for me. And that's scary. That's pretty scary. So that's probably why I fly as high as I do, just like you, because, I need to make sure that I can find that out if I need it. The only other thing that really scares me about this sport is doing something unintentional that causes an accident, right? Like if I'm up there doing acro, and which I don't, but if I was, and I was to have some kind of a collapse and need to throw my reserve, that's on me. But those things can happen with the crazy wind shifts, or hitting a shear that you didn't expect, kind of thing. So yeah, that's always in the back of my mind, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to fly. I just try to play it as smart as possible. Oh, you're muted.
Who's muted?
Jade is
Sorry.
muted.
Sorry.
Oh.
Tony from Las Vegas asked, does she feel good about being trained about airspace?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really, really good module on airspace. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that. And for me, honestly, my fallback is my husband. And he always says, you're the pilot, you have to know these things. And I'm like, I mean, I do, but you can be my second, like, is this right?
Right. I guess, when in doubt, I always message your instructor and say, hey, this is where we're going flying. And
Yeah.
because we've actually been kind of exploring different airports in Wisconsin and just making sure that we've got it correct on what we need to do and everything. So,
Right.
yeah.
Lee says she's got an electric start that might help out your other issue there. Full start in the air.
And that's part of, maybe getting a new motor sometime soon, because the Eclipse doesn't come with it. Like, you can't get an electric start. So with the, with the Eclipse. And so I'm like trying to find something that can. Yeah.
She does fly a trike, so I don't know if there's a difference.
Yeah, it's also the Atom 80 is probably the biggest issue.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily the Eclipse, but the Atom 80 piece of it.
So I have a electric start on mine, and Eric had one, and his went out right away. And I have one, and we just charged it not too long ago, and he thought maybe it was overcharged because now it won't. That went 2 flights. I tried using it and it wouldn't turn over the engine.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I came down, engine was warm, and I tried it again and it actually started, but it just, I don't know if it's wearing out or what.
Huh.
But I know your feeling on starting the engine, but I'm able to get that started now. It seems like it's kind of loosened up for me, or I don't know if maybe I got a little bit of muscle now to get it started. I know when it's cold, I can't start it from in my seat like that. I have to have somebody helping me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that part of it is just learning the technique.
Yeah.
I need to spend some time playing around with it.
Dewey said her husband said that you can get an electric start for an Atom 80. Oh, can't. Sorry, cannot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, other questions?
Well, Angela and Tony, we do see your posts. I'm sorry you're not seeing yours, but we are seeing your posts and asking your questions.
But they said
They're
they're
not
sitting next to each other. They just can't see each other's posts.
Yeah, just each other's posts. I just want them to know we have.
Yeah. We'll just throw a wrench at Tony. So I don't think he has a wrench in here.
He does not. That is correct.
All right. So when do you like flying? Mornings? Afternoons?
So yeah, so I absolutely loved the one morning flight I did. I mean, I did a couple in training, I guess, but on my own, the one morning flight, I just can't get up that early. So I fly in the evenings.
Oh,
Yeah.
I should introduce you to Will because Will doesn't fly mornings either. Right, Will?
Yeah.
Will will sleep through anything, I think.
I've actually now that I think about it, I've done 3 morning flights. 2 of them, one was at the fly-in, one was after we did a camp in, and then once from the house. So yeah, 3 times in the morning. And it is gorgeous. It's just way cold usually, and it's way early. Especially in
All
the
right.
summer when the sun comes up so early.
I am going to try and figure out if I can share your pictures.
Okay.
Bill H is in. So the
What?
question here. Bill H is in.
Oh, go for it.
No, he just says the question man is in. Shoot your questions, Bill.
All right, let's see. Can you guys see her picture here? Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is this in your yard?
Yes, that's the video launching in my yard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a nice runway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just play it again, okay?
sure. So the crazy thing about this is I was set up to go straight down, and the wind kind of moved me to the left, and I was able to step it back towards the right and head off, not going towards those trees.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, those trees right there.
Yeah. And the really cool thing is when I hit the power, I am up and gone. Like I just shoot into the air. So I don't really need a lot of runway space.
Nice. So is this the view of your home area?
Yep. That's the Shenandoah Mountains off in the back. And my husband is actually to the left up ahead of me.
With the orange wing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Who's that?
That's Tucker. Yeah,
So
that
what
was
did-
up at the Pennsylvania fly-in, and we did kind of a reunion with some of the people that we went to training with. So
Yep.
there was several of us up there, and of course we're all like, "Oh my God, that's Tucker! Oh my God, that's Tucker!" And nobody really wanted to go up and talk to him. And finally, I was like, "Look, can I do the girl thing and just ask you for a picture?"
Seems pretty decent, huh?
Oh yeah, he was super nice.
Oh,
Super
good.
nice, very friendly, very understanding, like never once seemed like he, cared about getting pictures. I saw it happening all weekend long with all kinds of people, not just paramotor pilots. So yeah, it
Nice.
was really cool.
And who
That's
is
Eric, my buddy.
All right.
And that's me skydiving for my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you do that at?
I was up in Michigan with my youngest sister. I was up there actually for her birthday. Our birthdays are about 2 weeks apart. And I was up there for her birthday, and she said, "You want to go skydiving for our birthdays?" Yes, I do. So off we went.
Right.
I think this was was this your most recent one? remember.
No.
Okay. It's a pretty one.
This one was up in Pennsylvania when I went to one of the classes up there to hang out. And it was the first time I got above clouds because it was super foggy.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a nice enough break that we were able to launch, and I was able to go up above the clouds, and that was really cool.
Was it a cold one up there?
Oh, yes.
Have you ever felt inversion?
I have.
Isn't that
I
neat?
have. Those are so nice.
Yeah. Had those a couple times.
Yeah. This one, that's
This
actually, yeah. So this one I think was my most recent one.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, but that's just in the Shenandoah Mountains. And this one's actually my husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Pretty wing.
That was right after my very first solo flight.
Oh,
Outside of class, my very first solo flight. Yeah, what was kind of funny with that one is I was coming in for a landing. We were at it's called the Flying Circus, and it's a private airport where all of the air dogs actually from Virginia go. It's a group that I'm in, paramotor pilots. Shout out to the air dogs. Anyways, so we were out there and I launched, and my plan was just literally to go up and come back down. Like I didn't want to fly around. I just wanted to go up and come down and be done with that first launch, solo launch. And when I was coming in, there was a guy setting up, and it wasn't somebody that I knew, but one of the guys was setting up. And as I was coming in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to hit this guy. And he wasn't batting an eye. He didn't move. He didn't flinch. He didn't anything. So I dumped the wing and came in and crash landed right in front of him. And I said, oh my God, were you scared? And he said, no. I said, you should have been.
wow.
I said, that was my first solo flight. And I was going to hit you. And he's like, oh.
Nice. Huh.
Yeah.
So Tony is asking, because I think he's a skydiver. He's asking if you would be interested in doing more skydiving.
Yes, 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 yes.
Wow.
Yes. I absolutely loved it.
Right.
And this is our group. This is the class that we trained with. So the one in the red, that's Micah, who was our lead instructor. And Judson on the opposite end, bowling his helmet.
Okay.
And that is after my first flight.
You and your hubby?
Yep. After my first flight. You can just see how excited he was for me. Yeah, it was awesome.
And he went up right after that?
He did. So I launched twice and landed, and then he went up.
There. Let's see.
And this was at training.
Is this your wing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Mojo.
Okay. All right. Okay.
How'd you get into this sport?
I got into it from my husband. He has a friend that had gotten into it recently, as in last year. And then, watching videos, and his friend would actually come and launch over here and fly around the house and everything. So that was really cool. And watching all the videos, and of course the Tucker got videos, and, I was like, wow, that's really pretty. That'd be a lot of fun, and still a little bit like, that'd be cool. And then Tucker went to Chick-fil-A, and I was in.
Chick-fil-A got you. Okay.
Yeah, and I asked her if she flew to Chick-fil-A yet, and she said no.
Not yet.
Well, my husband wanted to know if you did touch and goes.
I have not done a touch and go yet, mostly because I don't have my landings.
Sorry, Jade.
No, that's fine. I was just going to tell her or say that when she makes the move that she'll have to do a video or something with some restaurant that you and your husband fly to down there.
Definitely.
So are you going to fly the beach?
I would like to. I've heard a lot about it. When we flew from Eastern Shore, we kind of got the feeling of the beach because the airstrip wasn't far from the beach, but it wasn't actually launching and landing at the beach. So yeah, I would definitely like to do that with my floats on.
Eric and I did that after
moonshiners, we went out to Outer Banks. And we flew out there, and it was wonderful, but yet it was very, very different for us.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So what was the difference, Jade? Is it the scenery or the
I think
weather?
no, it wasn't the weather. I think I was just intimidated by the ocean.
The water? Okay, okay.
I mean, we have tons and tons of water and trees up here. And I know one of our instructors said if we've got, he had told us, if it comes to the point where you're going to end up going in water, just try to make sure you land towards shore as close as you can. I mean, we got rivers more than we do anything. And we live on a little 25-acre lake, so we have lots of little lakes. So I guess trees intimidate me, I think, more right now, but I don't know. But the ocean was beautiful, and Eric said he thought he saw some dolphins, but then of course his GoPro didn't work. Usually how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that one night we went, the night I took our dog up for her first flight, he called me over to a cornfield and he said he spotted a albino buck.
Oh,
And
wow.
tried to play it back and his GoPro was tilted up too high
Oh, no.
at this moment. Story of our life.
Yep.
So
Oh, no.
Tony, Jade did not go blonde. It's just the lighting in the room here. Yep, Angela apparently has been to Tomahawk and she says Tomahawk's got a lot of lakes.
Mm.
So, yep, we definitely do. And lots of big fish. So anybody else got any questions at all?
Any questions, Vic? I'm trying to think of one. What was your scariest moment in the air? Did you already say that? I'm so sorry if I missed it.
Yeah, it was, well, actually, no, I didn't tell you this one.
Oh, okay.
So I hooked up, right? So doing a forward launch, I hooked in, I launched, I went out, came around a little bit waiting for my husband to launch. And I look up, as I always do, to look at my wing. And this riser, I had apparently twisted it about 4 times instead of once. So I got on the radio and I calmly said, so my riser's twisted and I'm landing. And I came in and landed. Yep, that was a little bit scary. Nothing happened, and clearly it would have been fine, I think, for, what I was doing. But yeah, that was a little bit, because you hear about it, right? But I had never really experienced it. And I was like, yeah, nope, that's not a good thing. So I'm not real sure exactly how that happened, but now I make sure to be very diligent to check my roads and streets to make sure everything's good. So.
And your doorways, right? Doorways? Doors. Sorry, doors.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time. Roads. And I'm like, I don't know what he's saying, but yeah.
So Will Fly's got a question. How would you compare the two sports of paramotoring and skydiving?
Ooh, so they're exactly the same once the parachute comes out, in my opinion, right? Like they're the same as in you've killed your motor and you're coming in for your landing, right? That felt exactly the same to me. The actual rush of jumping from the plane and, all the spins and the adrenaline, that piece was just so much more intense, but it also felt so much more chaotic. Because when you're launching from the ground and you're in full control, it all makes sense. When you're thrown out of an airplane, it makes no sense. So it's the same yet different, and different in a good way. Yeah.
I think I would be grasping everything and anything on that airplane, being pushed out.
It was absolutely amazing. It was an intense rush, and I'm so glad I did it.
That's awesome. I thought about doing it for my 21st birthday, but then I chickened out. What were you gonna say, Krista?
Yeah, there's always next year when you turn 21.
No, I'm good.
Mark George had a question about your scariest landing. What was your scariest landing?
Yeah, so my scariest landing was coming in, and the winds were kind of being very shifty for some reason. Like I said, we live in the mountains, and so you get a lot of rotor, but typically it's not terrible. And one day I was coming in for my landing, and the wind, it was just kept yanking me around. And so by the time I hit full brake, the wind grabbed the wing and face planted me into the ground. Face planted. Like I was convinced my glasses were broke, go Oakleys, because they didn't break. But like I face planted into the ground, and the only thing that happened was my hoop got bent.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was scary.
yeah.
So you got any more, Krista?
Oh, I was gonna say, well, because she's in Virginia, which isn't so bad as where we were, but Mountain City was very shifty for everyone that flew there. So
Yeah.
have you flown in Tennessee at all?
I have not. I do have a bucket list to fly in all 48 continental United States, so I'll get there.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, so you told me when we were texting back and forth when you were saying that you were gonna be willing to be on the show,
Mhm.
you said you flew with a group of guys.
Yes.
What was your nickname? Or what do they call you?
Well, some of the guys call me Queen, and the other ones call me Mom, because I'm the only one. And then some of the other ones have dubbed me the CEO. And I'm like, yeah, nope, no, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's well over 100 guys in our group, and typically the same 15 to 20 fly together. And of course, I'm the only female out of all of them.
So this guy, Matt Luebke, in the chat is asking, ask her how she got the call sign Bruiser.
Thanks, babe. So yeah, I bruise very, very easily, just in general. I always have. And I struggled with getting my hands back far enough so that the risers didn't beat me up. Well, during training, they beat me up. I had bruises all over both arms. And I had an entire flight. It was probably 5 minutes long, if that long, but an entire flight where I couldn't get into my seat. And so I'm hanging by my leg straps, trying to get back in. And so, right in my groin area, both areas were bruised, landing on my knees. I had bruises all over my knees. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
Aren't those bruises special?
Yes. Yes.
Your husband didn't get any bruises like that?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Impressive.
I know he's an absolute natural, and I'm not saying that just because he's on, but he's an absolute natural to this sport. It just amazes me the things that he's able to do. I mean, even at, while he was in class at 21, 22 flights, he was doing like his call sign is ninja, because he would launch and land and you wouldn't even know it. Like he was just that good. And I'm like, that's just not fair.
Do you think it was all the practicing you guys did in the beginning with the kiting 3 months beforehand?
I think a lot of that, he definitely practiced more than I did. Definitely. But it all just clicked for him, like even like we were talking about when you're 6 feet from the ground, like for some reason, those measurements just worked for him. And for me, they just never have.
That never works for them.
Nope. So it's like everything just kind of clicked with what he needed, and he just has been good. So, which is great, because that means I have a good instructor.
So going back to the skydiving, Dewey says, having been Have you been tested to see if you're crazy because only crazy people jump out of perfectly good airplanes?
Exactly. That's exactly what a lot of people in my life have said.
And Will
Yeah.
also said Mountain City is cray cray. I agree. And Eric, my Eric says, she said 48 states. She don't want to fly in Wisconsin. Josh Perry's in the house. Said he just got back from flying. Great night. Got some great night for some butter smooth air, but it was cold. Shout out to the dogs.
Where's Josh Perry right now? Is he not in Florida anymore?
I don't know, Josh, where are you? Let's see. Nick Griffith, split leg harness, rough.
Oh yeah, the harness on the legs. Yeah.
Josh Perry, I went up with my one-piece suit, heated gloves, and my full face helmet. It was so toasty.
Don't read the next one.
No, I'm not. Let's see. Okay, nobody else has got any other questions. All right. So we're going to do a short after show. If anybody would like to join in, Gladys is saying that she'll stick around if anybody wants to meet her on the chat. Eric can add the code for that. Gladys, is your husband home now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Then he can join in if he would like, or if you would like him to. So anyway, please give us a thumbs up if you liked our show, hopefully. Also make sure that you subscribe so that you can not miss any of our Wednesday night shows with Krista and I, interviewing gals that are getting into the sky in any way and any form. And if anybody knows any females that are into flying or into the sky, send their name my way. I know I got a couple of guys throwing me names, and I've got another 2 months worth of shows booked. So thank you to everyone that's been doing that. And I really appreciate it. Gladys, do you have any social media that you are on?
I am on Facebook. That's
All right.
yeah.
All right. And Krista, you're on Facebook?
No, I'm only on YouTube to support everyone.
Oh. All right.
So I'm Cupcake Krista on YouTube.
And she will like everybody's videos when she can.
I'll share. I've got no content, but I only have an account to just subscribe to everyone and support everyone.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. And